My hair is being naughty, so we'll see if it'll cooperate. It's Friday night, so happy Friday, people! And as promised, I have questions to answer about surrogacy. So, shout out to Alexis because she provided some amazing, great questions. The first one is, do the intended parents send you pics after the baby's born and on birthdays? And yes. So far, they have all been good to stay in touch and to send pictures. The first one did kind of lose touch after about 6 years for some reason. And there is no guarantee. So, the twins' parents were good to stay in touch and send pictures. And then we are friends on Facebook, so I get to see them pretty much all the time. And it's been really cool to be able to see them grow up and see all the adventures that they go on. This last couple, we are more texters, so we stay in touch through texting, and she's been pretty good to update pictures usually. For a while it was more frequent, and then it was like every 6 months, and now it's at least once a year, but it's all good. So there's no guarantee, but I think it's pretty cool when they do stay in touch and send pictures. Number 2, is it hard to give up the baby after delivery? It hasn't been for me. I have just gone into this knowing that, I'm having a baby for someone else and that it's not my baby. The first time, it was just kind of like, I was so new to it, and I just, I guess, wanted to do it right. And it was like, yeah, no, she needs to go straight to the couple, and kind of like, I'll just be over here kind of thing. But at the same time, I didn't want to feel left out. And I think after a while I did kind of feel left out, but everyone else had to tell me, you need to go see the baby. Like, it wasn't me wanting to see the baby. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just kind of, off on my own, like, I'm going to leave them alone, let them bond or whatever. And everyone was like, no, you need to go hold the baby. And the mom called my room in the hospital and was like, Jill, you need to come hold the baby. So about 10 hours after she was born, I went and held her, and it was just weird. It did not seem like I was holding a baby that I had given birth to. Not at all. Like, I realized I had done the whole thing, gone into labor, but it did not feel like, because it wasn't my baby. It just felt like I was visiting a friend and holding a friend's baby. I did have kind of a neat little experience, I guess. When I got there, the mom said that the baby had been really fussy, and they were trying to calm her down. And as soon as I got there and as soon as I held her, she calmed down and went right to sleep. And the mom was like, oh, she's just so comfortable with you, so used to you, And I felt bad, but at the same time, it was, I guess, a special moment for me. But anyway. So, the last surrogacy, I guess with the twins, it was a C-section, so they got whisked away and no one got to hold them right away, but eventually I was able to hold them one at a time. And it took a while for the intended parents to get there, but we had kind of a special time together. It was like over the weekend, kind of, that I was in the hospital, and got to have pretty good access to the babies, which is a future question. The last one, the intended parents were supposed to be there, and they weren't able to get there in time. I actually ended up going into labor sooner than we thought. And so I kind of had this special time with her, just me and her kind of waiting for the parents to get there. And they were wanting me to nurse her on demand for the time being in the hospital, so we just got to hang out, and I got to feed her, and we got to wait for the parents. And then when they did get there, it was pretty cool to say, look at this adorable baby. And they didn't want any pictures. They didn't want us to send her pictures. They wanted to see her for themselves in real life, and that was pretty cool. So it was just the whole mindset of knowing that, it's not my baby. So number 3 is, I guess, similar. How do you mentally prepare yourself for delivery? Personally, I'm just a calm person. So this last time I had a doula and I had a music playlist, and it was just a very calm and cool atmosphere. But again, just knowing that, the time has come for the parents to meet their baby and take their baby home. So that is how I prepare, is just, I try to have a birth plan, but it's knowing that this is the moment that you've all been waiting for. Like, this is the whole reason why you do this, is for them to have their baby and to take their baby home. Number 4, did any of the intended parents not let you see the child after it was born, and was it that hard? So I haven't had any experiences like that. I'm sure that would be very hard. So again, with the first one, they were the ones begging me, basically, come hold the baby. Like, what are you doing, kind of thing, I guess. And then with the twins, that's what I was kind of saying. The twins, C-section, they're whisked away, whatever. But yes, I did end up getting to hold them and spend a good amount of time with them. And then for 7 weeks, they were in the NICU because they were born early. And I pumped and brought milk about once a week. And there was a time that I went there and no one from the family was there, so the hospital kind of had this strict protocol, like, I can't be there if no one else was there, so it was kind of like this awkward situation. But it wasn't like the parents wouldn't let me ever see the baby, kind of thing. And in most contracts, it says that the surrogate and their family, is allowed like a time to see the baby, hold the baby, like say goodbye, kind of thing. So it's actually healthy for the surrogate to see the child, hold the child, and for their family to hold the child. Number 5, how many surrogate pregnancies have you done before? I have had 5 journeys before, so this is my 6th time doing it. And the first time was in 2005, and she was born in 2006. Then in 2007, I had a couple, and we got pregnant, but then I miscarried around 7 weeks. And it was heartbreaking, because you just don't expect it to happen. And where I was successful with the first one, and it was like such an easy pregnancy, delivery, and everything, you just expect it all to go smooth again, and you really don't have any control over that. So it was sad, and they decided that they were done, and it was hard. It was hard not having it and in a baby. So then my third couple was the twins, and the transfer just didn't work the first time, but the second time, 2 embryos took, and it was kind of exciting, but kind of scary for all of us too. And then my third couple, we had a great relationship. We had all kinds of fun together, and we did 3 transfers and ended up with 2 chemical pregnancies, which is basically a super early miscarriage, where in a normal pregnancy that's not IVF, you wouldn't have even known you were pregnant because it's like so early and so short-lived. It's like you're pregnant and then you're not, like that quick kind of thing. And then we had a miscarriage around 7 weeks where the baby just never had a heartbeat. It just wasn't a viable pregnancy. And after going through all that, they were pretty much done, and it was sad for that to end that way. And then my last one was in 2014. So this will be my 6th journey. So 3 couples where it worked, which ended up in 4 babies. It's just crazy to think about. But hoping this one works. Number 6, why do you do surrogate pregnancies? And she adds, I was just wondering, I think it would be an extremely hard thing to do, but a caring thing to do. It is something that I feel like I was led to do, something I feel like I was meant to do, like my calling in life. I was introduced to it through a magazine article, and I just fell in love with the idea, like how cool that you can be pregnant for someone else, and that, you know, you can help your family while you're helping another family. But the timing wasn't right for us at the time, and it was like probably 2002, 2003. My husband was in the Navy and on deployment at the time, and I just don't think the timing was right, and I think we needed to learn a little bit more about the process. So, around 2005, we were living in Utah, getting ready to move back to San Diego to be with my husband, who was in the Navy. Obviously, I just said that. And he was donating blood a lot, and I thought it'd be cool, like, he was donating blood for a local radio station and would get all this free stuff, and I thought it would be cool to find a place where he could earn a little spending money. So I was researching online to find ways to make money with blood donations or something like that, and it came up with sperm donations and egg donations, and I actually started looking into being an egg donor. And I was in my 20s at the time. I could have easily been an egg donor, but the agency I reached out to asked if I had ever thought about being a surrogate, and told me that, being an egg donor was really cool, but like being a surrogate was even more rewarding. And so they talked to me about like our concerns and explained the whole process, and how with gestational surrogacy, how you don't use your own genetics, that it's all the intended parents, either an egg donor or a sperm donor, or just completely their genetics. So I just got to learn more about it, and so I approached my husband again, and this time he was like, I can tell that you're really passionate about it. So he felt like he could support me in doing it, and I joined a few groups and started looking for a match. And then that agency ended up not being a great agency for me, so I ended up finding another agency. And once I found the other agency, I was matched pretty quickly. It was a pretty smooth process. But, I felt like I was introduced to it for a reason, and that I was led to it again for a reason, and it's just kind of continuously led to different opportunities in my life. So, personally, I feel like God led me to be a surrogate, and this is what I was meant to do, and it's just been an amazing experience for me. It is very exciting. It's almost like a natural high, just the whole experience, the relationship with the IPs, being pregnant, the delivery, the whole thing. And it's one of those things where most surrogates, if you do it once, you usually end up doing it more than once. It's just such a unique experience that you want to do it again. And there are so many couples that want an experienced, proven surrogate that, you know, there's a need for it. There are so many couples in need, and I really wish I could help them all. I mean, it's sad what they go through. And it's amazing to be able to help someone like that. So hopefully that answered all your questions. And if anyone has any other questions, I'm happy to answer them. Have a good night. Have a great weekend, guys.